Hey folks, Quill18 here, and it was my plan this weekend to do a marathon Civ 4 session, but unfortunately, if you've seen my update, there are some issues with that as we are waiting for a new version of a mod to be released, and I don't want to start till that new version of the mod is released. So, of course, I've got plenty of other games to do, but I wanted to be able to provide some content for the people who are really waiting for some Civ-type content, and so we're going to move off of Earth and move into outer space along with Galactic Civilizations 2. GalCiv is it's an excellent game. I was gonna say it's an indie game, strictly speaking, but this company's done really well for itself, and it's a very professional-looking game. GalCiv. It's very much the spiritual successor to Master of Orion, and you guys know how much I love that game. Super good. So basically, it is Civilizations, but in space, with some great sci-fi twists. So without further ado, we're going to start a new game. This is the Ultimate Edition, which has all the expansion packs, and actually, as an interesting coincidence, today as I do this, it is actually on sale over at Impulse. This is by a company named Stardock, and they originally made the Impulse game distribution network, very much like Steam. It's very good, a lot more sort of smaller indie stuff, although some AAA titles as well. That was recently bought out by I think GameStop, but it's still the #1 place to go and get some of these games like GalCiv. Stardock sold off Impulse so that they could focus more on making games. So we're going to set up the map here. I'm not going to go anything too big. You can go quite huge. Wow, I didn't realize there was an immense. This would probably take you like weeks to play through. It's crazy. You know what? I'm actually going to a medium. Trying to figure out how numerous to make the planets. We'll leave it as occasional. This should actually give us a fair amount of distance. We are going to switch this to scattered. No, maybe loose clusters. There's lots of options. You can even randomize this, right? If you didn't care, or if you wanted a really different game every time, you could have random. So there's going to be a fair number of stars, and around the stars there are going to be a fair number of planets, and a fair number of them are going to be habitable. So even though it's not a big galaxy, there should be plenty of places to set yourself up. We're going to, you know what, we're going to try to make it as busy as possible. We're going to set lots of minor races, which will make it interesting. We're going to allow all the victory types, just the normal settings. Yeah, looks good. And now we get to pick our civilization, our race. There are a great number of them. How many are there? 5, 10, 12 predefined races. And there's also the custom race. Now, a lot of times it's actually still better to just pick one of the pre-made races because you can still customize them. But as a pre-made, you get a special ability, in addition to some stats that are already laid out for you. The custom, I think, you may not get as much of. Yeah, no super ability, and I don't know if it works out the same way, so it's generally better to have picked one. And they all have different things. The humans are really good diplomats, which actually means a lot in this game. The Drengen are quite good at military. Altarian, their special ability is Super Organizer, but what it means, they're really good at getting other civs to join in wars. Which is a really interesting diplomatic route. And diplomacy, in this game, the AI is famously very good. And only cheats at all at the very highest levels of difficulty. At most levels of difficulty, it doesn't cheat, and in fact is nerfed. They've sort of lobotomized it. And it's only, I don't remember what difficulty setting it is, but it's only at a certain point that you actually sort of start to break even in terms of, or you've unlocked all of its sneakiness. And they will do really backhanded stuff. So we're gonna play as human, cause why not? We're gonna be Quill Johnson. That's us, Quill Johnson. Overview. Abilities. So we're going to reset this. Okay, so we got 10 extra points to spend. Now we have got Super the Diplomat already, which is very good, and we start with more speed, for our ships go slightly faster. We do have a penalty to military production. We have a huge bonus to diplomacy, so on top of our super ability. +1 trade route for planet, which is very good way to make money, and a bonus to logistics. Logistics, actually, I guess that's just our base logistics, I suppose it is. We'll talk about what that means later on. So, one thing I really like about this game is the fact that there are some very interesting alternative ways of winning. No matter what, we're going to want research, because research is good. I mean, do we just go nuts? Thing is, we can trade for a lot of research. We're probably going to use our diplomacy to do just that, actually. Maybe, should we just go retardedly high on diplomacy? No, we're going to be okay diplomatically. We are going to want, we're going to want a better economy. Money's good. Let's go midway. And also improving our morale will help, because then we can tax people more. So midway on that, we're leaving ourselves at 5 points. God, there's so many things we can adjust and tweak. So we're going to have a good economy. Maybe we'll give ourselves a little research boost here, just to improve that. And then, maybe we should at least cancel out our military penalties, so we'll break even that way. 2 more points. Influence. That's what we're going to do. Because we may toy with this sort of cultural victory thing. We'll see. There we go. Like I said, there's some very interesting ways to to win at this game. Political, we get to choose our person represents which political party. So they each come with slightly different extra bonuses. I guess I'll click through them slowly, and then you can pause and look if you really want to see what they are. So, man, they're all so good. Technologists are really good. Pacifist is actually fine too, especially if you want to go and just win the cultural win. Maybe we should just go for a cultural victory just to show it off. We're still going to get into wars. We just don't need to spend our time literally destroying everyone. So yeah, pacifists. Kind of a silly name, but yeah, we're going to try to win simply through diplomatic means, basically. That's what we're going to be. Oh, it just hit me. We're going to be like the we're going to be like the McDonald's Alliance or something like that. We'll leave the name in there, but that's basically what we are. Who won Earth? Who united Earth? It's the corporations. We are the corporations, and that's what we are. I don't know, maybe mercantile, trade, espionage. I mean, social production, building buildings, it's great. Influence, it's going to come up super good. Yeah, we're like the Hollywood people. We're just going to try to win through just spamming out our culture, whether they want it or not. You can also choose our appearance. There are different ship styles, as well as our base color. I think I'm going to leave it like that, but for example, there's some very basic. This is just an example of what some of their iconic ships look like. Like you can see these swooping wingy type things. I'm going to stick with the Terran Alliance. Because why not? Because you'll see the other ship types potentially just by seeing the other races. And yeah, you can choose all your custom colors, create custom ship style. There's lots of flexibility. So let's kickstart this. Difficulty. Yeah, so... Alright, so I guess Cakewalk is the lowest. Easy, simple, beginner, normal. Challenging, tough, painful, crippling, masochistic, obscene, and suicidal. So we're going to go up to challenging. 5 opponents? Maybe. I'm going to randomize them for sure. Let's go 6. And we've also got a whole bunch of minor races. Remember, we don't have a huge galaxies, so this is going to be very, very crowded as is. So that'll be okay. I mean, I like going with lots of opponents, but this is going to be lots, especially with all the minor civs. Next. And now we are constructing the map. The space map. Bum, bum, bum. I just realized my window's a little cockeyed here. You can probably see the border. I'll try to fix that in a second. Or maybe it was just temporarily like that. Okay. The top 1 most powerful civs in the galaxy, the Terran Alliance. We're awesome! We're number 1 of all the civilizations we know about. Okay. The journey begins. The galaxy has become a tense place. Since the major civilizations obtained hyperdrive technology, a race has been on to explore, expand, colonize, and in some cases conquer the galaxy. So the backstory of this are, the other races have been around for some time. They've been kicking around, whatever, checking things out. Humans are the ones, but space travel was slow. Humans are the ones who developed sort of hyperspace travel, faster than light travel, and shared that technology, either intentionally or maybe we got spied on or whatever, with the other races. So even though humans are sort of the youngest kids on the block, no one has gotten a head start in colonization yet. But the non-human races, let's just get it done for now. We'll come back to this, and we'll come back to this. The non-human races have an advantage. If you look down here at the mini-map, and you can even zoom in here on the mini-map. So in the explored space, you can see the big dot, which is the sun, and you can see the little dots, which are the planets. Well, over here we've got another sun, and another sun, and another sun. We don't see the planets. The other races actually know where the planets are. Just a slight difference, because they've been around a little bit longer. They have a technology called stellar cartography, which we can trade with. Let's open up the research screen here. This is the tech tree. There's a lot going on, and one of the nice things about this game is that every race has a unique tech tree. And even when you look at these, like look at the fleet warp bubbles, it's actually 3 technologies in one. You research them one chunk at a time, and each step gives you a little bit more. The drives are a lot like that. The weapon systems, which are down here. Whoa. Weapon and defensive systems, you can see, so that's lasers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they continually become upgraded. So there are a lot of technologies, and it's a different tech chart for everyone. Now, I'm going to start off by researching xenocommunications. So this gives us a little bit of a diplomacy bonus by itself, although it's actually not useful in and of itself. What we need is the technology that comes afterwards, the universal translator, because you cannot communicate with other races until you have that. And of course we want to be diplomatic, so we may as well say gain the ability to talk to other people early on. It's a crowded galaxy, we're going to run into them quickly, so let's be ready for that. Okay. Now, we start with Earth, our one and only planet around Sol. But you can see Mars here, Jupiter. Oh, we've got a military resource right here. Very interesting. Mercury. So some little other planets. Earth, if you mouse over it, you can see it's a class 10 planet. The higher the class, the more habitable it is. So Mars is only a class 4, and this directly translates to the number of spots on the planet where the sort of usable terrain on the planet that you can use to build various buildings on. So Mars would only have 4 of these. Now, you do unlock various ways of doing terraforming later on, so these planets will all be improved. You can see this yellow spot right here is a swamp. We need soil enhancement before this becomes usable, for example, for our giant projects. You can see a couple of these squares actually have a little icon in the bottom left corner. This one here, oh, this is a 300% research bonus. Amazing! And this one is I've never seen this. I've literally never seen this in a game. Now, not that I've played a lot of games, but I've probably played at least a dozen. I'm used to seeing tiles that give you a 100% research bonus. If you're lucky, some planets don't have any. It's random every time. If you're really lucky, you got one of these 300s. We got a 700% research boost. I think I'm going to hyperventilate here. That's unbelievable. This is actually, like, overpowered. I gotta do more Let's Plays of games because it comes in... It's ridiculous when I do that. Alright, I'm gonna build a couple of laboratories to start off with. Maybe we should even go with a third, just for now. Yeah, okay, well, I'll get 3 of them, because this place is gonna have to build ships and everything. I'm also gonna make sure the first one in the queue, I'm gonna buy it. You start off with 3,000 BCs, that's a billion credits. And it's only gonna cost us 438 BC to purchase that, to rush it, so we're going to do that. You can only rush 1 building per turn, but it's definitely worth doing that. We'll probably rush out quite a few more, actually. We'll see. We've got some other things to rush as well. So that's going to get built first, followed by a couple other traditional factories. Actually, we've already got one. I suppose we'll build those research labs right away, because we don't want those squares to be idle too long. And Innovation Complex, maybe. That's a super project, so we only get 1 per civ, I believe. So maybe we won't build it here. We'll build it somewhere we actually want a lot of influence. We'll want an entertainment network. So you can see approval rating right here is currently 78%. As the population of your planet grows, people become more unhappy because of overcrowding things. Taxes and other things also influence it. So on your big planets, a lot of times you'll want something that boosts morale. But unless you've got some different setups. Of course, we've got a little bit of an innate morale bonus, which is good. So we're actually going to be using that to tax people a little bit. And I think I'm going to probably build a couple of market centers because we're going to want a decent economy. And yeah. You can see our production up here. We're currently producing 6 units of social production per turn. So social production is for buildings. Military production is for ships, which we'll get to in a second. And then you've got your research points here. If I want, I can change my focus. And also, right now, I'm not building any spaceships, so this 5 military, I think half of it transfers over to social, or maybe all of it transfers over to social. I'm not sure. But we are going to use it. We're going to start building a ship. And actually, I'm not entirely sure what kind of ship we will build. Rushing out a colony ship would be nice if we can find a planet. If we can't, then it kind of sits and it's kind of wasted. But how much does it cost to purchase? 1,300. Oops. I meant to click cancel, but I guess we're going to get a colony ship, so let's hope we can find another place to colonize. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now, before we hit the first turn button, we're going to check our domestic stats. You can see our taxation rate here, and we're going to bump that up. The approval rating, the higher the approval rating, the quicker your planets grow, because when people are happy, apparently they get happy. There's also a breakpoint. You'll see if I go from 49 to 50, it'll drop considerably. It's like that at every 10, so you tend to see tax rates at 39, 49, 59, and so on. So 49% is pretty good, slightly above 50% approval rate, which is going to be decent. Later on, we're probably going to want to maintain a higher approval rate. That's okay. Here's a net income. The production in this game is slightly different than in some others. It's a little bit odd. Basically, your production, if we go back to Earth now, see all these numbers have gone up. Your buildings, like your factories, basically improve your maximum potential production. But you don't necessarily use all of it unless your spending is at 100%. If you go at 50%, then you'll only use 50% of your capacity, but you won't spend as much money. So whenever, obviously, ideally you have this at 100% all, but a lot of times you may have to scale it back. Also, we can decide how it's distributed. I'm actually going to drop the military down to nothing right now, because we did just rush that one ship, and we may purchase another one. We want to get those buildings built as quickly as possible and force do research. We don't need any espionage right now, and we'll worry about the other screens later on. So, we start off with 3 ships in space. We've got a space miner, and there are asteroids, like right over here, asteroid fields, and we're just going to automate this guy. He's going to go over to the asteroid field and improve this, and it will start beaming resources to Earth, which will further improve our potential maximum production. We do start off with a colony ship, which is great. We also start off with a flagship. A flagship has decent sensors, decent propulsion, and no weapons or anything. And also, it's got a survey module, which is allows it to investigate various anomalies. Like this is a meteorite anomaly, which a meteorite is something that's supposed to crash land on the planet. So that's really not a proper term. It's more like a standalone asteroid, which we can explore. If we zoom out, you can see it'll actually change at one point to our strategic view. So it replaces everything by icons, which actually ends up playing the game a lot from this distance. It makes it a lot easier to see. So we're going to move our ship just down here. We're going to poke open this anomaly and we'll see what happens. Cutscene! The galaxy is not a tidy place. We see scattered about evidence of long-gone civilizations and unknown artifacts, including the ones on our planet, which is why we have the research bonus. Our survey ships can explore these anomalies and find ways for them to benefit our citizens. So, our intrepid band of explorers have discovered a treasure trove of artifacts. We have sold the goods at a fair price of 100 BC. Awesome. So, usually I automate it. I'm going to move them a little bit more manually. So this is remains of a device that produces soothing sound waves that relax individuals without any side effects. Our people's morale will be improved from this discovery by an estimated 2%. I won't read all these because there's lots of them. Oh, we've actually met our first minor race. The Caronoids. Interesting. Well, check out this planet. It's got... Actually, I guess the planet that we inhabit is probably the one that's actually in orbit there. You can click on the sun and see there are 2 habitable planets in the system, only one of which have been colonized. So there must be another planet on the other side of the sun here. We definitely want to peek there. Because... And actually, I guess we're just going to send the colony ship here. Okay, this planet has a little symbol next to it. If I click on it, it is a barren planet. There's no water, no anything. It is class 9. There's a lot of habitable places in theory, but we need to research barren world colonization before we can plant ourselves there. So that sucks. Foreign stats. Oh, we haven't met them yet officially. Speak to. Oh, we need a universal translator. All right, that's fine. So colony ship. I guess you know what? We're going to send the colony ship to explore in a different direction. It's a lot slower. Doesn't have as much range, but it's still useful. And that is it for the first turn. Yeah, go. Yeah, there you go. The Carnids. Smet kiala e kula drenia estua damak angela at Tanagra. Okay, so yeah, universal translators required, but we're working on it. Okay, we completed that factory that we rush bought. We also completed that colony ship that I accidentally rush bought. Beep. I'm kind of a fan of building a scout, actually, just to help find habitable planets, especially with 2 colony ships. It's going to be top priority to find one before they're all colonized, because there's not going to be a lot of open options early on. So I'm definitely going to buy that. We still have enough money to pull that off, so that's good. And I suppose I will launch the colony ship. You get to choose how much population to bring with you. I always bring as much as possible, but there may be cases where you don't want to. So I'm going to send myself in this direction and see what we can find. And go. Research complete. Xeno communications. And there's always funny things to say for every tech. I'll read this one, but I won't read the others. There's so much to understand, so much to ponder when dealing with alien beings. These sentient creatures may not be bipedal. Some may measure stature by how many eyeballs a creature has. Others may be thick-skinned brutes, yet easily offended. This path of research will put us on the path of being able to understand them, negotiate with them, trade with them, and even entice them with our culture. Awesome. So universal translators next, because we want to stay making friends. Good. We are going to launch that ship. And we're going to tell Earth, just probably start building a constructor, although right now we have our actual military production turned off in our budget, so that'll never get completed. So we're going to think on that a tiny bit. Okay, at this point I'm going to automate the flagship. It'll just go and pick up anomalies on its own. And, wow, some money, that's good. And the scout I'm going to send in this direction. This blue line is the edge of my influence, I believe. So it's interesting, the Carnids are actually within my influence sphere, I think, if I remember the map correctly. Oh, we've just met someone else, the Drath. These are another proper civilization, not a minor civ. So we definitely want to get that up so we can talk to people. Okay, bunch of awesome stuff. Lots of bonuses. But everyone is sort of getting those at the same rate. Everyone starts a flagship, so it's a more or less balance. But there are things you can do to tweak it later. Excellent! Now we can translate the various blurps, bleeps, and blunks into intelligent language so we can communicate back and forth. Now we get to choose our next civ. Now this is always sorted based on the build time, so the quickest stuff is always at the top. Faster propulsion is nice. Artificial gravity is pretty good too, and I think I'm going to get it first. Better population growth, but it also unlocks a lot of other things. Alright. Nothing inhabitable around this sun. Let's try over here. And no, only yellow and orange suns are habitable. White suns like this are not. So we're going to leave our actual territory here. Ooh, there's someone who lives over here. Next turn. More random stuff. You know what? I should actually rush this factory. It's mostly done, but we'll speed it up anyway. Apparently we're making money. You know what? We are actually going to rush a constructor. Oh, right, they're super expensive. Yeah, maybe we'll wait then. We got money, but as we expand, we'll quickly run out. So we haven't actually met any other colonizable planets. I suppose, actually, we should just pick up Mars. I don't think anyone's at risk of stealing it. I'm just hoping to prioritize better planets first. We'll see. We may pull back pretty quick and grab Mars. Okay, research lab done. Good. Yeah, I'm going to take this ship. I'm going to pull it back to Mars. Sooner we get it colonized, the better. I don't want to lose it, that's for sure. So we are making really good money. But let's turn on our military production again. Which actually leaves our money about the same. Depending on how you've got things set up, sometimes that can actually change, even though you're just distributing theoretically what you have, just because you have different caps and different things. The research should probably be in pretty major change, yeah. Alright, but we're going to leave them balanced for now. Actually, we'll make the research a little bit better than the others. Military a little lower. Alright, go. More random crap. Artificial gravity, yes. So, and that unlocks lots of different things, and let's take a look at exactly where we want to go here. I'm thinking planetary improvements, personally. Give us 10% more social, military, and research productions by itself, which is really good, and unlocks several more really valuable technologies, and that's good. But it reminds me, we have universal translators. We should start talking to people. So this is a draft. This is an actual civilization. Very powerful, very busy. I don't suppose you'd be willing... I don't have anything I can trade you? Right. I guess I'll have to finish planetary improvements first. What about you guys? You minor racers. No, nothing. I could sell you a tech, but I don't need the money right now, so hopefully they'll research something pretty soon. Alright, you. So, nothing habitable around here, huh? Let's head down a little bit. And Scout, we are now going to set you probably on auto-explore. Just to minimize how much bookkeeping, how much we have to do, make the turns go by faster. Ah! Major breakthrough in the planet Thalan. The Thalan Empire, or the planet Thala. The Thalan Empire has built an economic direction unit, a truly unique accomplishment. One might even go so far as to call it a galactic wonder. No further economic direction unit may be built. Sounds like a bad thing for us, but I think this is a unique building for them, actually. So it doesn't actually give us any trouble at all. Okay, more money. Well, we've got lots of money. And we can colonize Mars. We can name it. I'm going to leave it called Mars. After being trapped on Earth After being trapped on Earth for thousands of years, we have finally begun colonization of our newest home. While most of our citizens embrace this adventurous spirit, we will also have to be wary of the dangers that lie in uncharted space. Some races wish only to expand, others wish to dominate through extermination. Caution is advised. We'll finish the cutscene here. Looks pretty badass, coming in through the clouds. I think that's it. Alright, so you can see Mars is a class 4. There's only 4 usable tiles. 1 automatically gets picked up by the initial colony slot, which gives you a really good industrial research base, plus some food, morale bonus. Like, it's a pretty good tile in and of itself, so no worries there. And then we have to decide what to do with the rest of these squares. And the problem with these tiny planets is there's not much room for anything. So you really have to decide generally one thing. We could just load it with market centers and just try to use it to boost our economy, which is certainly viable. I'm not going to worry about rebuilding research here, I don't think, because we're going to get lots just from Earth by itself. I could fit 2 factories in the starport, which will be nice later on when we want to build more ships, but I'm afraid now that we won't actually be able to afford it, and that Earth's going to be okay doing it. I think I'm just going to load it with market centers. We don't have a money problem right now, but it'll help later on. I'm gonna give that a try. I got enough money I can rush one actually, which there's not much point in doing that, is there? I'm just wondering if I shouldn't do this. No, you know, we are gonna have. You don't see it now, but especially if we can find another place to settle, we're gonna have some money issues. So let's build that. Ah, and we've met Emperor Iso the Wise of the Iconian refugees. Excellent. Well, let's talk to you. You're very nice. You have technology! You have the ability to colonize aquatic worlds and toxic planets. Also know interstellar warfare, space militarization. You've got some good freaking tech. I don't suppose you trade space militarization for artificial gravity? Offer is inadequate. So what is the relative cost? 35 versus 144. Yeah, it's worth a lot more. I don't tend to like to trade away my diplomacy things. But look at this. Look at this. 35 plus 15. That's 50 research points versus 144. And they're willing to agree because our incredible ability in diplomacy gives us a great advantage. We can probably throw some money into the deal as well, and we can. I don't really care about stellar cartography. Well, it shows the planets, but it doesn't actually show us which ones are really interstellar warfare as well. Which ones can be colonized? Holy cow. We are crushing this guy. Yeah, see, this message says they specifically are overvaluing the toxic atmosphere reductors, so they are unwilling. They're far less willing to trade. We'd have to give them a ton more stuff to make it worthwhile. See, now this is different. This is just they're saying the deal is too much, but they're not specifically hating it. Just too expensive. These things, yeah, 723. They just started with this. Minor races sometimes have funny things like that. So we can get some decent technologies, may as well take it, and some money on the side. Sure. That sounds great. And we'll probably get along really, really well. Now, they won't show up in here. Oh, they do! Oh, they're an actual race! Ooh. No, that's supposed you'd trade new propulsion techniques, would you? For space militarization? Yeah. You would. Oh, right, that one's worth 1,000,000 times more. Interstellar Warfare? Yeah, either way, it's worth a lot more. And that's not even willing? Okay, these guys must be... Maybe they're researching it. They're both neutral, but that'll improve over time. Okay.